She trusted her husband, and she trusted her own sister even more. But the day she caught them together, she didn't scream, she didn't cry. Instead, she did something no one expected, and what happened next changed everything. Welcome to African Heartfelt Stories. If you love emotional and touching stories, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more amazing stories. Thank you for your support. Sit back, relax as we dive into the story. The sun rose gently over the quiet street, touching the windows of a small but beautiful house at the corner. Inside that house lived a woman named Maya and her husband, Daniel. From the outside, their life looked perfect. Every morning, Maya woke up before Daniel. She loved mornings. She would tie her soft curly hair into a loose bun, put on her apron, and walk into the kitchen with a calm smile. The smell of fresh coffee and toasted bread would soon fill the house. Daniel used to love that. There was a time when he would walk into the kitchen, wrap his arms around her from behind, and say, "Good morning, my beautiful wife." Maya would laugh softly and reply, "Go get ready, you'll be late." Those mornings felt warm, safe, full of love. But lately, things had changed. Daniel no longer came into the kitchen like before. Most mornings, he stayed in the bedroom, scrolling through his phone. When he finally came out, he looked distracted. "Your breakfast is ready," Maya would say gently. "Yeah, thanks," he would reply without looking at her. He would eat quickly or sometimes not eat at all. At first, Maya thought he was just stressed from work. Daniel had recently gotten a new position at his company. It came with more money, but also more pressure. So she didn't complain. She tried harder. She made his favorite meals. She kept the house clean and peaceful. She spoke kindly, even when he barely responded. But something inside her slowly started to feel uneasy. It was not something she could explain. It was just a feeling. In the evenings, the house used to be full of laughter. They would sit together, watch movies, talk about their day, and sometimes argue playfully about small things like which show to watch next. Now, the evenings were quiet. Daniel came home late almost every day. Sometimes 9 p.m. Sometimes even later. When Maya asked, "Why are you late?" he would simply say, "Work." Nothing more. One night, Maya waited for him with dinner already set on the table. The food became cold, but she did not eat. She wanted to eat with him. It was almost 10 p.m. when he finally walked in. "You're late," she said softly. "I told you I have work," Daniel replied, dropping his keys on the table. "Can't you at least call?" she asked, trying to stay calm. Daniel sighed, clearly annoyed. "Maya, please. I'm tired." That was all he said. No apology. No explanation. Maya nodded slowly and went back to the kitchen. She warmed the food again, but this time, she didn't feel like eating anymore. She just sat quietly and watched him eat in silence. Her heart felt heavy, but she pushed the feeling down. A few days later, something new happened. Maya received a call from her younger sister, Lily. "Maya, I need your help," Lily said over the phone. Her voice sounded tired. "What's wrong?" Maya asked, her heart already full of concern. "I just finished my program, and I don't have a place to stay right now. Can I come stay with you for a while?" Maya didn't even think twice. "Of course, Lily. This is your home too. Come anytime." That same afternoon, Lily arrived with 2 small bags and a bright smile. She hugged Maya tightly. "I missed you so much." Maya smiled back. "I missed you too." Lily was younger, full of life, and always cheerful. She had a way of bringing energy into any room she entered. When Daniel came home that evening and saw Lily, he smiled for the first time in a long while. "Oh, Lily. You're here," he said. "Yes. I hope you don't mind," Lily replied playfully. "Of course not," Daniel said. "You're welcome." Maya stood there watching them, feeling a small sense of relief. For the first time in weeks, Daniel looked happy. Days passed, and the house slowly began to feel alive again. Lily helped Maya in the kitchen. She told funny stories. She laughed loudly, and her laughter filled the whole house. Daniel started coming home a little earlier. Sometimes, the three of them would sit together and talk. Maya felt hopeful. Maybe things are getting better, she thought. But there were small things, little moments, that didn't feel right. Sometimes, when Maya walked into a room, Daniel and Lily would suddenly stop talking. Sometimes, they would share a quick glance and then look away. Maya noticed, but she ignored it. Don't overthink, she told herself. She's your sister. He's your husband. Still, that uneasy feeling returned. One evening, Maya was in the kitchen while Daniel and Lily were in the living room. She could hear them laughing. Not normal laughter. It sounded different. Closer. More private. Maya paused for a moment, holding a spoon in her hand. Then she shook her head and continued cooking. Stop it, Maya, she whispered to herself. You're just imagining things. But deep down, her heart knew something was wrong. That night, as Maya lay in bed, Daniel sat beside her, once again focused on his phone. His face was lit by the screen. He smiled slightly at something he was reading. Maya turned and looked at him. Who are you chatting with? She asked softly. No one, he replied quickly. Maya didn't ask again. She simply turned to the other side and closed her eyes. But sleep did not come easily. Because somewhere inside her, a quiet fear had already begun to grow. And she had no idea that her world was about to change forever. After Lily moved in, the house slowly changed in ways Maya could not fully explain. At first, everything looked normal. Lily woke up early like Maya. She helped clean the house, swept the floor, and sometimes even prepared breakfast before Maya got to the kitchen. You should rest more, Lily would say with a smile. You do too much already. Maya appreciated it. She felt lucky to have such a caring younger sister. Daniel also seemed different. He was no longer as quiet as before. He spoke more at the dining table. Sometimes, he even laughed again. Looks like someone is happy these days, Maya said jokingly one evening. Daniel smiled. Maybe the house just feels more alive. Maya nodded, feeling relieved. She truly believed things were getting better. But what she didn't see was what happened when she wasn't around. It started with simple conversations. Daniel and Lily would sit in the living room after dinner while Maya washed the dishes. So, what are your plans now? Daniel asked one night. I don't know yet, Lily replied. I just want to find something that makes me happy. You deserve that, Daniel said softly. Lily looked at him and smiled. You're very kind, you know that? Daniel chuckled. Not everyone would agree. From the kitchen, Maya could hear their voices, but she didn't pay attention. To her, it was just normal conversation. But slowly, those conversations became longer, deeper, more personal. A few days later, Maya had to go to the market to buy things for the house. She told them she would be gone for a while. Do you need anything? She asked. No, we're fine, Daniel replied. Be careful on your way, Lily added. Maya smiled and left. The moment the door closed, the house became quiet. Daniel was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone. Lily stood near the window, looking outside. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Daniel broke the silence. You seem different when your sister is not around, he said. Lily turned and looked at him. Different how? More relaxed, he replied. Lily laughed softly. Maybe I just don't want to disturb her. She already has a lot to deal with. Daniel nodded slowly. There was a pause. Then he said something unexpected. Sometimes. I feel like she doesn't understand me anymore. Lily frowned slightly. What do you mean? Daniel leaned back and sighed. I don't know. It's like we live in the same house, but we are far apart. Lily didn't know what to say. She had always respected Maya's marriage. But hearing Daniel speak like that made her feel something strange. Something she didn't fully understand. You should talk to her, Lily said carefully. Daniel shook his head. I've tried. It's not the same. He looked at Lily. But talking to you feels easy. Those words stayed in the air. Lily felt her heart beat faster. She knew that moment was important. She also knew it was dangerous. From that day, something shifted between them. Daniel started looking for small chances to talk to Lily alone. In the kitchen. In the hallway. Even outside the house. Can you help me with something? He would say, just to get her attention. And Lily slowly began to respond. At first, she kept her distance. She reminded herself, this is wrong. He is your sister's husband. But Daniel's words made it hard for her to stay strong. You're different from her, he once said. You understand me. You listen. Those words touched her deeply. She had always felt like people didn't take her seriously. But with Daniel, she felt seen. Important. Special. And that feeling began to pull her closer. One evening, everything changed. Maya had to attend a small family meeting and would not be back until late. I might come back very late, she said while getting ready. That's fine, Daniel replied. Don't wait for me to eat. Lily nodded. Be safe. When Maya left, the house became quiet again. Daniel turned on the TV, but he wasn't really watching it. Lily sat at the other end of the couch. There was silence between them. Then Daniel spoke. Come sit closer. I can barely hear you from there. Lily hesitated for a moment. Then she moved a little closer. Not too close, but closer. They started talking. At first, it was about simple things. Then slowly, it became deeper. Daniel talked about his childhood, his struggles, his fears. Lily listened carefully. You're stronger than people think, she said. Daniel looked at her with soft eyes. And you're more than just the younger sister, he replied. Their eyes met. And for a moment, time felt like it stopped. Daniel slowly reached out and held her hand. Lily's heart jumped. She knew she should pull away. She knew this was the moment to stop everything. But she didn't. She stayed. That one decision changed everything. After that night, things moved faster. They started sending messages to each other. Even when they were in the same house. Sometimes late at night. Sometimes early in the morning. Are you awake? Yes. I miss talking to you. Me too. They created a secret world inside the same house. A world Maya knew nothing about. They laughed quietly. They shared jokes. They shared feelings they should never have shared. And every time they crossed the line, they told themselves it would be the last. But it never was. Maya, on the other hand, began to notice small changes. Daniel smiled at his phone more often. Lily avoided staying alone with her for too long. And sometimes, the air in the house felt strange. Heavy. Uncomfortable. But Maya trusted them. She trusted her husband. She trusted her sister. So instead of questioning it, she kept silent. But deep inside, her heart was slowly starting to break. Even before she knew the truth. Because sometimes, the heart feels the truth. Before the eyes see it. One morning, Maya woke up earlier than usual. She turned to her side of the bed. Daniel was not there. At first, she thought he had gone to the bathroom. But after waiting for a while, she got up quietly. The house was still. She stepped out of the bedroom slowly. Then she saw it. A small light coming from the living room. Daniel was sitting there, smiling at his phone. It was not a normal smile. It was soft, personal, the kind of smile he had not given her in a long time. Maya stood there, watching him without saying anything. Then suddenly, Daniel noticed her. His expression changed immediately. "Oh, you're awake," he said quickly, putting down his phone. "Yes," Maya replied calmly. "Who are you chatting with this early?" "No one," Daniel answered too fast. "Just work stuff." Maya nodded slowly. But inside, something tightened. Because she knew that answer was not true. Later that day, Maya went to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. Lily joined her, as usual. "Good morning, sis," Lily said, trying to sound cheerful. "Good morning," Maya replied softly. They worked side by side in silence. It felt strange. Heavy. Maya glanced at Lily for a moment. Her sister avoided her eyes. That was when Maya felt it clearly. Something was wrong. Very wrong. That afternoon, Maya sat alone in the bedroom. She held her phone, staring at the screen, thinking deeply. "Am I overthinking?" she asked herself. "No, something is not right." Her heart and mind were fighting each other. She trusted them. But at the same time, she could not ignore what she was feeling. Then she made a quiet decision. "I need to know the truth." The next day, Maya left the house earlier than usual. "I have somewhere to go," she said. "Okay," Daniel replied. "Take care," Lily added. Maya smiled and walked out. But she did not go far. Instead, she waited outside for a few minutes. Her heart was beating fast. She didn't even know what she was expecting to see. Part of her hoped she would find nothing. But another part feared the worst. After a while, she quietly walked back toward the house. She moved slowly, carefully, like someone who did not want to be heard. The front door was slightly open. That alone made her heart race. Maya pushed it gently. The house was quiet. Too quiet. She stepped inside. Then she heard it. Voices. Low voices. Coming from the bedroom. Her bedroom. Maya froze. Her hands became cold. Her legs felt weak. For a moment, she couldn't move. But then, she forced herself forward. Step by step. Slowly. Silently. Each step felt heavier than the last. As she got closer, the voices became clearer. She recognized them. Daniel. And Lily. They were talking softly, laughing quietly. Like nothing was wrong. Like everything was normal. But to Maya, everything was already breaking. She stood in front of the door. Her hand trembled as she reached for the handle. Her heart was beating so loud, she could almost hear it. She paused, took a deep breath. Then, she pushed the door open. What she saw changed everything. Daniel and Lily stood inside the room. Too close. Too comfortable. Too familiar. Their faces turned pale the moment they saw her. Time seemed to stop. No one spoke. No one moved. The silence in that room was heavy, painful, unbearable. Maya stood there, looking at them. Her eyes slowly moved from Daniel to Lily. Her husband. Her sister. The two people she trusted the most. Standing together. Like strangers, and yet too close. Too close in a way that said everything, without needing words. Lily's lips began to shake. "Sis. I can explain." "Don't." Maya's voice was calm. Too calm. That one word stopped everything. Daniel tried to speak. "Maya, listen, it's not." But he couldn't finish. Because even he knew. There was nothing to explain. The truth was already clear. Maya did not shout. She did not cry. She did not ask questions. She just looked at them one last time. A long, deep look. A look filled with pain. But also a strange kind of peace. Then she turned around and walked out. Just like that. No drama. No noise. No tears. Just silence. Daniel and Lily stood there, frozen, confused, shocked, afraid. Because they expected anger. They expected shouting. They expected a scene. But what they got was something far worse. Silence. That silence followed them the whole day. Maya did not speak to either of them. She went about her day like nothing happened. She cooked. She cleaned. She even answered calls. Calm. Normal. Quiet. Too quiet. That night, the house felt different. Cold. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Daniel tried to speak to her. Maya, can we talk? She looked at him calmly. Not now. Just 3 simple words. But they carried so much weight. Lily stayed in her room, crying softly. She could not face Maya. She could not face herself. The guilt was too much. But still, it was too late. And Maya. She lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Her eyes were open. But no tears came out. Because sometimes, pain is too deep for tears. That night, a marriage broke. A bond between sisters shattered. And a woman began to change into someone no one expected. Because her silence was not weakness. It was the beginning of something powerful. The morning after everything happened felt strange. The sun still rose. Birds still sang outside. People still went to work. But inside the house, everything had changed. Maya woke up before anyone else, as usual. She sat on the edge of the bed for a moment, quiet and still. Her face showed no anger, no tears. Just calm. But inside her, something had shifted. Something strong. Something firm. She stood up, tied her hair, and walked into the kitchen. Soon, the familiar smell of breakfast filled the house again. It was as if nothing had happened. Daniel came out of the bedroom slowly. He looked tired. His eyes were heavy from a sleepless night. When he saw Maya in the kitchen, he paused. Maya, he said softly. She turned to look at him. Yes. Her voice was normal. Too normal. Daniel felt uncomfortable. I want to explain. You should eat before it gets cold, Maya said, cutting him off gently. She placed his plate on the table and walked away. Daniel stood there, confused. This was not the reaction he expected. Lily stayed in her room for a long time. She didn't have the courage to come out. But hunger and fear finally pushed her. When she stepped into the living room, she saw Maya arranging the table. Sis, Lily's voice was low and shaky. Maya looked at her. Yes, Lily. That calm voice again. It made Lily feel even worse. I'm sorry, Lily whispered. Maya held her gaze for a moment. Then she said, breakfast is on the table. Nothing more. No anger. No questions. No shouting. Lily felt her chest tighten. Because sometimes, silence hurts more than words. For the next few days, Maya acted the same way. Calm. Respectful. Normal. She cooked. She cleaned. She spoke when needed. But she never mentioned what she saw. Not once. Daniel could not take it anymore. One evening, he walked up to her while she was washing dishes. Maya, please, he said. Let's talk about this. Maya continued washing. There's nothing to talk about, she replied quietly. How can you say that? Daniel asked, his voice rising slightly. You saw. I saw enough, Maya said, turning to face him. Her eyes were steady. Strong. That look made Daniel stop talking. Because for the first time, he felt like he did not know his own wife. That night, Maya sat alone in the living room. She had a small file in her hands. Inside it were papers. Important papers. She opened it slowly and looked through each one carefully. House documents. Business records. Signed agreements. Every detail. She took her time. She was not rushing. Because what she was about to do needed to be done right. The next morning, Maya made a decision. Both of you, she said calmly, standing in the living room. Come sit down. Her voice was firm. Different. Daniel and Lily exchanged worried looks. Then they sat. Maya stood in front of them. She looked at them quietly for a few seconds. Then she spoke. I think it's time we talk. Her tone was calm, but serious. Lily started crying immediately. Sis, please forgive me. I didn't mean for this to happen. Maya raised her hand gently. Stop. Lily went silent. Daniel tried to speak. Maya, I take full responsibility. It was my fault. Maya looked at him. Did I ask you to speak? That one question shut him down. Then Maya walked to the table and placed the file in front of them. I didn't shout, she began. I didn't fight. I didn't create a scene. She paused. Do you know why? They said nothing. Because I needed to think clearly, she continued. While you both were busy hiding. I was watching. Daniel swallowed hard. Lily lowered her head. Maya opened the file and spread out the documents. This house, she said, pointing to the paper, is in my name. Daniel's eyes widened. What? Maya didn't stop. And the business you've been running, she added, bringing out another paper, every major document is signed under me. The room went silent. Heavy. Shocking silence. Daniel looked confused. That's not possible. I built that business. Maya looked at him calmly. Yes, you worked on it, she said. But I supported it. I invested in it. I made sure everything was registered properly. She leaned slightly forward. And I made sure it was protected. Lily wiped her tears, still shaking. Sis, please. I'm begging you. Maya turned to her. You're begging me now? She asked softly. Her voice was not loud, but it carried pain. Deep pain. You shared my home, Maya continued. I trusted you. Her voice broke slightly, but she quickly regained control. And you chose to betray me. Lily cried harder. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Maya took a deep breath. Then she straightened up. I won't insult you, she said calmly. I won't fight you. She paused. But I will not stay in this situation. She folded her arms. You have two options. Daniel and Lily looked at her carefully. Option 1, Maya said clearly. You pack your things and leave this house today, peacefully. She let the words settle. Option 2. Her voice became firmer. I take legal action. I make everything public. And I make sure you lose everything connected to me. The air in the room felt heavy. No one spoke. Daniel looked down. He knew she was serious. For the first time, he realized he had underestimated her. Lily was crying uncontrollably. Please, where will I go? Maya looked at her. That is something you should have thought about before. There was no anger in her voice. Just truth. Clear and firm. After a long silence, Daniel stood up slowly. I understand, he said quietly. He didn't argue. He didn't fight. Because deep down, he knew he had lost. Within hours, bags were packed. The house that once held laughter was now filled with quiet movement. No one spoke. No one looked at each other. At the door, Lily turned back. Her eyes were red from crying. "Sis, please, forgive me someday." Maya looked at her. "I hope you learn from this," she said softly. "That will be enough." Daniel stood there, unable to meet her eyes. He wanted to say something, but no words came out. Then they left. Just like that. The door closed, and the house became silent again. Maya stood in the living room alone. She looked around slowly. Everything felt different. Empty. But also peaceful. She walked to the window and looked outside. The sun was shining. Life was moving on. She took a deep breath. Not as a broken woman, but as a strong one. Because what they thought would destroy her had only revealed who she truly was. And this time, she was in control. The house was quiet after they left. Not the kind of quiet that feels empty, but the kind that feels calm. Peaceful. For the first time in a long while, Maya could hear her own thoughts clearly. The first few days were not easy. Even though she stayed strong, she was still human. There were moments when she sat alone and remembered everything. The good days. The laughter. The promises. She remembered how Daniel used to hold her hand and tell her, "I will never hurt you." She remembered how Lily used to call her, the best sister in the world. Those memories came like waves. But this time, they did not break her. They only reminded her of how far she had come. Maya made a decision. She would not stay stuck in pain. She would move forward. The following week, she woke up early again, just like before. But this time, there was a different energy in her. She was not doing things for someone else anymore. She was doing them for herself. She began to focus on her business. The business she had quietly built with patience and wisdom. Many people did not know how much she had contributed. Even Daniel had not fully understood her role. But now, it was clear. Maya went through all the records again. She organized everything. She made new plans. She reached out to old partners. And slowly, things began to grow. One afternoon, she stood in front of a group of workers in her office. "I want us to do better," she said confidently. "I want this place to grow. Not just for me, but for all of us." Her voice was calm but strong. The workers listened carefully. They respected her, because they could see something different in her. Strength, clarity, leadership. Weeks turned into months. And the results began to show. The business expanded. More clients came in. More opportunities opened. Maya became known not just as a kind woman, but as a smart and powerful one. People in the neighborhood started talking. "Have you seen Maya lately? She's doing so well. I heard she's helping other women too." And it was true. Maya started a small support group for women. Women who had been hurt. Women who felt lost. Women who needed someone to remind them of their worth. They met every weekend. They talked. They shared. They healed. One day, a young woman asked her, "How did you stay so calm after everything that happened?" The room became quiet. Everyone waited for her answer. Maya smiled gently. Then she said, "I was not calm at first. Inside I was broken." She paused. "But I realized something important. Pain can destroy you, or it can build you." Her voice was soft but clear. "And I decided I would not let it destroy me." The women nodded. Some of them had tears in their eyes. Because her words were real. Simple. But powerful. As time passed, Maya became even stronger. She no longer thought about the past with anger. She did not carry hate in her heart. She chose peace. One afternoon, while she was in her office, she received a message. It was from Daniel. Her phone stayed in her hand for a few seconds. She looked at the name. Then she opened the message. Maya, I'm sorry. I lost everything. I made a mistake. Please, can we talk? Maya read it quietly. Then she placed the phone on the table. She did not reply. Not because she was angry, but because she had moved on. A few days later, she heard about Lily. Their relationship had not lasted. What started in secrecy ended in regret. There was no trust. No peace. Only guilt and disappointment. When Maya heard this, she did not smile. She did not celebrate. She simply nodded and continued with her day. Because their story was no longer her concern. One evening, Maya stood outside her house, watching the sunset. The sky was calm and beautiful. She took a deep breath. Her life was not what it used to be. But it was better. Stronger. Clearer. She had lost people she loved. But she had found herself. And that was worth everything. From that day on, people no longer saw Maya as just a quiet woman. They saw her as a symbol of strength. A woman who chose dignity over drama. A woman who turned pain into power. And the truth was simple. What she did next was not loud. It was not violent. It was not revenge. It was growth. It was wisdom. It was strength. And that was what surprised everyone the most. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you find the story worth watching. Kindly like, subscribe, comment, and share the video. Your support and engagement encourage me to post more videos. Thanks for watching.